Okay. Tripod. I need to make that wider or something. Cool. All right, fresh water, fresh strips. Old paper towel. Oh. Bags for clay. Fluff, already used it. Put this back. Let's try putting it back on the right side. Already getting messy. I forgot to smock up. The drill. Already used it. Excellent. I've got projects. My drinks are right here. All manner of water storage. Gonna be able to pull the balloon out of him today. Brushes. Spare bowl. And that rabbit smock. How are you? I kind of want to adjust the light a little bit too. It's like every time I want to show something off, the lights catch the camera as a shadow and block what I want to show. Let's get them a little higher. Good. That is a witch orb. 3D printed. Another one is its last, quarter of its print. I didn't really check the hours. But here is the 3D printed witch orb. In all of its lovely plasticky glory. It has not been painted, so some of its detail is very much hidden away. And this was the first print. There were a few rough patches right up in this area here, that area there, this area here, this area here. Hey, it's almost as if all the long horizontal tops got trouble. So I went back into the model and fixed some of these large open horizontal, and I made them taper a bit more towards the top. So in the next 3D print, we should have much less of this fraying here. Down at the bottom, there were also some spots in the curlicues where we got a little bit of snaggle and snarl. Same thing here. And I understand it's not hideously visible from there, but I also went back into the model and rectified those places as well by smoothing out the bottom of the design. But the nice thing is that from the side angle, which is probably the most visible of all of it, this is where it came out the smoothest and best, even onto the top. It starts to get a little bit more patchy on the top just by the fact that the nozzle is blasting right down on these layers. And consequently, it's not as smooth as this side texture. A little bit of the same for the bottom as well. But suffice to say, a puck light should very easily be able to fit into here, or frankly, here. This thing is maybe about 15% larger than a standard witch orb, so it's a little bit bigger. I made the bottom so that a puck light can go in there, but it will shine light out the bottom, but the puck light should not be big enough to fall down through there. And if it is, then we just put clear plastic across the bottom as usual, or translucent plastic, as the case may be. And this guy should be able to sit outside in the autumn weather all month long and do its thing. Obviously, it won't have the battery charge for that, but I'm thinking about that as well. So that is the 3D printed witch orb, and the great thing about it is, hey, I want another one. Click. Wait 2 days. Hey, I want another one. Click. Wait 2 days. It's really simple. They don't take up all that much filament either, surprisingly. This thing, I could probably print maybe 4 or 5 of these off of one roll of filament. The hanging method I'm thinking is I'm just going to take a drill, bore 3 holes, and then tie knots with whatever wire or rope inside and bring it up and through. I thought about putting some sort of hook contraption on there, and you certainly can, but I thought, why complicate it? There's a chance that it'll come out odd in the design. So if I just drill a hole, put some stuff down, put a knot in it, it'll hang right on that, and it'll be fine. And that way I can drape creepy cloth over it without any fear either. I was also thinking that I could take some creepy cloth, super glue it to the inside bottom rim of this, and have the cloth kind of hanging out from these openings a bit. But once I get it painted, we'll see how that's going to go. Painting this thing is going to be a moderate nightmare. Just because of all the bumps in it, the fact that it's PLA, we're going to have to hit it with a lot of primer. So, yep, that's the 3D printed witch orb, number 1, and number 2 is on its way. And then we're going to print out the crown of the Horned King, which I have already designed, and just need to do. At the moment, I kind of feel like starting off with some witchwood finishing, because it's fun, it's awesome, and it's amazing. So that's what I'm starting with today. We can get this arm pretty much done. Then get this arm started. And we can finish the skull. And that should be fun. Oh, man. My sleep schedule is toast, though. Good Lord. I'd like to get that out of there. I may have made that aperture a little bit small. And there we go. And as usual, the inside is that beautiful, beautiful beach ball smooth. Gotta love that. Okay. Let's roll. Beautiful fluffy brush. And we'll be finishing the skull at some point, so I'll need that detail brush. And let's play another one of Never Do This. Ah, cool. If you can, send it to my email. This channel at gmail.com. Thanks, Psycho. All right. There's the wood finish ready. Let's turn the back of this creepy, horrible hand into something from a nightmare. I've been watching a fair number of Maker Muse stuff. Tonight we're going to work on the Halloween hands of the Pumpkin Sentinel. This one is half done. Then we have the other one. We've got, I can probably move the 3D printed witchwood out of the way now. It's very sturdy too. We have the lower half of the jaw on this witchwood skull. And we got to cut out the eyes and mount the glass cabochons in there. Probably cut out the back of the head here. And think about mounting a light source. I kind of want to see how well the cabochons do their job as compared to the ping pong ball pieces. I have no doubt they'll do significantly better. And then on the big guy, we have to witchwood the throat all the way. And that's really about it for him. We could probably start even staining. Oh, we gotta witchwood the back of the spine. We could probably start witchwooding the front, or staining the front of the rib cage, because that's not getting any more work done to it. And that'll give us a great look at how he looks. So I imagine tonight's going to be a fair amount of witchwooding. Final stage of witchwooding. Which really is my favorite stage. The part where we get to see what all that nice texture has fully produced. And the watchword for this evening is going to be try not to go too nuts trying to find all the little empty spaces, because I've got a bad habit of doing that. And there's just going to be too many with this amount of witchwood to get it all. We can get most of it, but I might also need to take a trip to Lowe's at some point and get myself some more special walnut stain, because we are going to be going through quite a lot of it. And I may dip into the next room at some point, grab my tablet, and see if we can get some nice royalty-free haunt music going. Because my tablet is actually upstairs tonight, which is pretty fly. Part of me vaguely wishes I had a bigger brush to do this with, but I really like getting the more detail work. That way I can really make sure I get in all the nooks and crannies, or at least more of the nooks and crannies. Oh dear. Yeah, tomorrow's actually the big staff meeting for work, and I had a good call today with a colleague so we can try to get some classes going. Oh wow, thanks very much, Sego. That is much appreciated. And that will certainly get us another can of special walnut. Thank you very, very, very much. Now I'll use this one all the more better. Slather a bit more so it gets in all the cracks. Sweet. Excellent. I am really looking forward to this Halloween. I have that heartfelt belief that all the COVID crap will be over by then, or at least highly minimized. I doubt very highly we'll have any kind of vaccine at that point, but this guy is going to be horrifying. The only thing that'll be able to put a mild damper on me will be rain. And if there's rain, I'm going to put this guy in a big old window. So he still gets pole position. Unfortunately, with the way things are, it doesn't look like he's going to need multiple coats of stain. This is doing pretty well. Yeah. The rain concerns me. Last year, it was absolutely pouring. We managed to salvage it, but still, it kind of ruins the night. Only two things that really do it: rain and wind. Because wind, very high wind, can blow your props all over the damn place. Ours are pretty well rooted, but still. I still gotta make those damn tombstones. That'll be that'll be an I need a break from mache project. I have to make two very intricate tombstones for my main character and my buddy's main character. And I have a witch stone somewhere in this room that has been sitting unfinished for a few years. As I was going to make some videos for Hotwire Foam Factory. Yes. Absolutely can. The trouble with these guys and waterproofing is that the surface of the witchwood is so convoluted that you simply can't get into all the gaps unless you had a bucket of lacquer, or in this case, a tank, and you dunked the project in until all the bubbles stopped, then rolled it over a few times. Huh. That would be pretty slick. I know vaccines are on the fast track for this. Very, very, very fast track. I am sure that the FDA is already getting ready to have all their testing mechanisms in super fast forward. Won't be any waiting list for any kind of potentially effective COVID vaccines. In a way, I'd really like to get back to normal. In a way, I'll be sad because I won't have anywhere near as much crafting time. But I'll also have Monday night game night. I'll have a regular sleep schedule because I'll be working. I'll be able to actually work effectively. Because right now it is just piss ineffective to try to do this remote teaching crap. Yeah, I know a lot of people are in far worse straits than me, to be sure. What? It's stain. I gotta rub it in. If you don't rub the stain in, it doesn't go anywhere near as well. We'll take it right down to my handhold on the bottom here, and then next craft session will be complete. Absolutely, utterly complete. And this arm will be effectively, well, mostly done. I gotta sand and spray the PVC piece down here. It's got to be black. It's going to be covered with creepy cloth, so obviously can't be brazenly white. Super cotton flare shot. All right, this is getting mildly hand stress to hold. There we go. A little bit more straight up and down will help. And we'll throw it in a drying spot. I got to bring those other shelving racks up from the basement. I want to have many more drying spots in here and project storage holding places. Because of the way I've got the room set up now, it's so much more effective to just look around and be like, all right, what do I need to do? Okay, this thing's here on a shelf. It needs X. Let's do that. Okay, there's another shelf. What does this shelf need? And you can kind of clear a workload shelf by shelf. Really slick. Yeah. So there is the classic Witchwood arm. All right, get in front of the camera. Yeah. And that looks great. That'll be all out like that. I'm wondering if it needs any other coloring or highlighting. Maybe a shock of green somewhere. Just to get us multiple colors. Oh my god. Are those? Nope, it's just shiny. I do see a few glaring spots now. Yeah. Cool. Let's get it drying. Thanks, Ricardo. I am pretty pleased with this guy. It came out exceptionally well. Absolutely exceptionally well. I can't wait to have him up at Halloween. We'll think about some highlights on it. Maybe a quick yellow-brown dry brush. Like that. Good. Okay. Let's do the next one. You know, there's something else we should do too. If this is going to be resting on the table at all, I don't really want bits of mache flake getting into my stain. So let's give the table a quick swab. No kidding. I would very extensively consider that if there was any kind of, first off, let me go look for a razor blade. If there was any kind of heavy anatomy stuff anymore, there simply doesn't seem to be in the curriculum, at least for living environment, which is the stuff I teach right now. Any stress on body systems. I thought I had an extra pack. So I'll have to pilfer the one from here. Yeah, there simply isn't any stress on body systems as much anymore, and they tend to hit it a little bit earlier in the curriculum. But with some of our folks, they weren't paying a ton of attention early in the curriculum, and so there's a heavy knowledge gap. So I try to hit human body systems because folks kind of need to know why they're going to the doctor a lot more than they need to know the flight habits of like red-winged blackbirds and stuff like that. So I'll go. There's a couple fresh blades in here. Yes. In fact, I don't need a fresh blade. I'd rather keep the fresh blades for cutting stuff that's hard to cut. I'm going to use the old blade. We'll vacuum this all up later. Oh yeah, absolutely. The place where I really plan on using it is for any kind of engineering type stuff in my project-based classes. Because you can print the weird gears and other stuffs and strange mechanisms. That's viciously effective. At least as far as teaching goes. Fantastic. All right. Now, let's give this a quick wipe down. So it's at least much harder to get mache fleeces into my stain. Good. Anything that would come up easily has come up easily. Fantastic. Good. All right. Much better. Now. Hey, Rachel, how's it going? I am just doing the projecting. I'm going to witchwood a whole bunch of stuff, get it finalized. And then the last phase on this guy is going to be urethane sealing, but I'll probably do that outside. Kind of a dull step, really. Oh, what do you got, Essie? Yeah, there's certainly some merit to that. If you had like a set of pre-made eye rims that could be thrown right on, that could be slick. I'm going to try to get the whole hand and leave myself like a grip point right here. Oh, the orb print, Rachel. Orb number 2 is already printing. Orb number 1 is right there. Solid pattern plastic, PLA, ready for painting, fluff, and lights. Came out incredibly well. There were a few areas that gave some trouble, but I went back to the model and put in some buffers to fix those. So the next print, which is active right now, should hopefully be excellent. Yeah, I've seen silicon and cornstarch molds being used in some stuff. I wanted to do it for my Science 10 class this year, but then COVID happened. That was going to be the next project. Yeah, plaster always has that trouble that it can be a little bit brittle. Get in there. Oh, yeah. I can't wait to have a whole bunch of orbs going. Part of me was wondering about I should do another version of the orb, but this one took quite a long time to model, so I'll do another close-up of that one a little bit. They are certainly not. It's one of those, they're not hard, but they're not easy either. They're just time consuming. At least to do right. Next one I'm going to throw into a Meshmaker Analyzer, though, and have it show me all the print problem spots before, so I can work on them. All right, that's fine. No one's going to see it. Cool. Yeah, good stuff. Hello, Landon. Welcome to the stream, where we make spooky stuff. Latex on clay for mold for blaster cast. Nifty. One thing I do like about the stain is that if you do find a void, you can just drown it in stain. I know I've definitely seen some folks use Vaseline as a release agent. Somewhere around here I've got a spray can of mold release. So I was going to resin cast some gem type things to load into a staff, but never really got around to it. Fantastic, Rachel. Yeah. It doesn't cost anything to say hello. Make people's day a little brighter. Ooh, that's a void. All right, like I said, no one's going to see that one. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's okay. Yeah, some silicones definitely have stuff added to them. At some point, I gotta pull out that resin I've got and just do something with it. I've heard you can also use graphite powder as a mold release. Making Christmas, la la la. I think there's going to be one head on his upper right hand shoulder. There's going to be one on his right arm. And another one we're going to bury in the rib cage. I've got to find a good attachment method for them though. I would like to use a little bit of Velcro. That way I can pull them back off and I don't have to worry about them getting banged up as awkward placements in storage. This guy's probably in the end going to have his very own tote, because that's what I usually like to do with my big props. Actually, then again, he's probably going to be hanging somewhere of prominence in my house. This guy's got a lot of work into him to be sitting in a box for 364 days a year. The orb took about maybe 20% of a spool. I could probably get 4 or 5 of them out of a single spool. I was surprised at how little it took. Very surprised, actually. Because when I set it all out for supports, it was like, yeah, it's going to take 2 spools. It's going to take a week to print. But it didn't need any supports. So I was shocked and amazed. Take care, Essie. You can also try reloading. That sometimes works for some folks if you want to hang around more. But entirely up to you, obviously. And hey, Joey, how's it going? You finding more stuff in random areas of the house? Ah, okay. Yep, it's definitely connection. Unfortunately. I have not watched stuff about the loop yet. Unfortunately. Yesterday was absolute designing fever. I was in Mesh Mixer for many, many hours. Actually, altering between that and Fusion 360. My learning curve was very, very, very high. I watched a ton of tutorial videos. And I may not be a master of that program yet, but I can get it to set up and bark. Oh, jeez. The clay is sitting in a bucket down to my lower left-hand side. I made it just before the stream. Waha, ha ha ha, ha ha. Yeah, I knew I'd be onto that big pumpkin at some point tonight, so wanted to have plenty ready to go. I also brought up a couple bags to store any excess in. Yeah, that makes sense. Excellent. I've got some serious Velcro as well, and I don't find too much trouble with it. I use it for securing the puck lights to the tops of the skulls and the lantern. So I think it should work all right on the mini pumpkins. The main trick of that will be finding a spot on the main model to put the different stickers on. But it's one of the things that can wait a little while. Because, I mean, worst case scenario, I just paint them and everything and then go, oh crap, it needs some extra paste or clay or something. And just give the area a little sand down, reaffix it. Yeah, it's very, very flexible with the mini pumpkins. The big thing for them is going to be doing their stems, if I want the stems incorporated into the main structure or not. That's going to be the rough angle. Oh, everybody's typing so fast here. Yeah, I've actually got a bunch more of these down in my basement. and they're just incredibly handy for let's get up some shelving and not have to worry about time, effort, cost, or looks. Because obviously, if it ever gets paint or other crap on it, you won't have to not worry at all. If they are mache paste or acrylics, then water will do it. Anything that has this sort of stain on it or a oil-based paint will go into mineral spirits usually. Somewhere I've got some paint thinner too, but I really like my mineral spirits. Anything that's got that sticky, oily, it doesn't wash off. Mineral spirits usually do a good job on it. I shop for most of my brushes at not Tractor Supply, the dollar store next to the Tractor Supply. Real Deals Dollar Store. Every now and again, they'll have these like 5 of this type for $1. At that price, yeah. I usually go in and buy $5-10 worth. And then I know I don't have to worry about brushes at all. And if they wear out, oh no, I'm out 20 cents. Heaven help me, how will I ever afford it? Thanks, John. I've been using this method for a while and really, really like it. Gets you a beautiful twisted wood look. For a handcrafted Halloween. It's weird. You think handcrafted Christmas, everything's all nice and homey. Handcrafted Halloween, everything's about 10 times scarier. Magnificently detailed props. Oh, that's looking pretty good. DH Gate, haven't seen that one. About the closest I've come to app shopping has been through wish.com. And obviously wish.com has its quirks. The problem I find is I go on there, I find something really, really cool. I get it. It's really, really cool. I don't end up using it. Which is just, maybe that's just me, but it seems to be an issue that I have with Wish. It's a wish-you that I have. I'll have to check it out. I'm glad we went and we put all those extra bits of witchwood on this thing. Arm's going to be highlighted a lot more. Yeah, I hear ya. Hey, Pearl, how's it going? Yeah, that is definitely true. Especially wish sometimes, like you see the initial price and you go, "Ah, that's a pretty good deal. Yeah, just gotta wait a while for shipping." And then you go and you add it to your cart and you see the shipping cost they're gonna whack you with, and it's like, whoa, wait a minute, that's not a bargain. Yep, that is the 3D printed witch orb, which I can close up in a little bit. Came out very good. 39 hours to print. No supports required. And uses about maybe a fifth of a filament reel. So for me, about, $4 ish. And then you got to paint it. I got to see if I have any primer here tonight that'll work on it. Yes, wood stain, flow into all the cracks. 39 hours isn't too off for a 3D print of that size. I could probably reduce it by tweaking my settings, but I got a pretty good quality print out of it. I'm happy. There were some areas of the model that got a little bit froofed, and I need to go. And I shouldn't say I need to go. I already did it. I went back and altered the original model to fix those on the next print. Next print's almost done downstairs. About another 20% to go. Nope, I print big. Like I said, I could mess with my settings, but I would lose some detail even if I increased the speed. I could also probably mess with my nozzle and my fan speed and my traverse speed, but why mess with perfection? I thought about working on something like that. I've already got a whole bunch of really good lawn torches already. So the only thing I could really do with sconces is throw the flame flicker bulbs in there. Have a good time with that. You can power those on battery for easily a full night. Wow, that's looking great. Black purple dragons. Yep, that'll work. I have enough crap in my house right now to decorate without printing new things for decoration. Halloween decorations and practical stuff is one thing. But stuff for looks, I've got buckets of stuff for looks. We're almost at that point where it's going to be difficult to keep rolling. Which one? Oof, 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 oof. All right, last little bit here. And we'll set this aside to dry. Then we'll do the final detail on the skull jaw. Or I can cut it open first and then do the final detail on the skull jaw. I think I'm going to want to grab my my better super glue though. All right. I'm not playing hand pinch games with this thing, so we're just going to set it to start drying now. There you go. Drying place. Ta-da. All right, let's think about Le School. Where are the cabochons? Just had them. Could have sworn they were up here. They're around somewhere. They're there. Okay. So, where's the big X-Acto? One. Ooh, cramp. Oh yeah, made clay. Oh, last. Oh, cool. Teenagers. Glad I only have to go through that once. Okay. And I think just like the other ones, we'll do a little. Little hindbrain flat. Nice. All right, now it's on the floor. All right. Of course I'd drop it. Come here. Rawr, rawr. All right, cabochon fits pretty well. That eye, I need to take the top off a little bit more. This eye is pretty perfect. Okay. And more off the top. There we go. Let's have a spot for you to dry. I mean, some of these probably could use a little more glue anyway. Or we could just use E6000. Nobody dicks with E6000. Takes a little longer to dry, but nobody dicks with E6000. Stinks like hell, and the fumes give you cancer, but it's a really good glue. Stay in there, you little bastard. Close enough. This one needs a little adjust. Whew, perfect. All right. Tiny fingerprint on the eye. That's not going to matter at all. But I do want that to get at least some serious curing time before I start painting around with it. Okay. It's supposed to be cleaning. No. Okay, so 6,000. 6,000 set. Cabochons for now set. Bring down the big boy. That's pretty good. Toss them on eBay. Though I know sometimes that's often very problematic too. Unfortunately, I am nowhere near Everett, Washington, so. The costumes will all be gone, one way or another. No one will ever know. Too bad you can't throw it on like a Craigslist or a free cycle or something. Have people just come over and get them. One of those you haul it away deals. Yep, New York. I remember you were mentioning that. If a few drops get through, that's no biggie. I may not get to the inside of his rib cage from the front. At least I'm not going to concern myself with getting all the angles on it. Yeah, hoarding is very problematic for just about anyone, honestly. Yeah, liquid latex is costs a ruddy fortune. I bought a small bottle of it a couple of years ago to do a mass project with a student, and oh my god. Hmm. Hmm. It's working really well. I'll probably have to touch up some spots because I'll probably get a little less splatter when I paint the pumpkin face. Hmm. drops. I may hit this with a black wash later on. Let some of the dark sink into the cracks. Highlight it more. Oh. Awesome, Ghost Rain. I'm glad I can help. I love doing tutorials and putting them out there. Haven't really thought of a name yet. Generally, the name tends to come when you're sitting there setting up Halloween with somebody, going, "Go get me," and then the name pops out. Where should we put? And then the name just becomes the name. We already have a Jack. Who knows? This guy might just be the Sentinel. Or it'll turn into like Grabby or something like that. I've only got one X, so that really wouldn't work. Yeah, generally the pumpkin paper mache is the one most people hit to start off with. And then if they like the others, they go for the others, but some folks just stop there. All fine and good. Nothing wrong with pumpkineering. Oh, pardon. Let's see, he's got to get spray painted in the back of his head up and around. That shouldn't cause too much trouble with this rib cage, which would. Yes. Those pumpkin tutorials are definitely stuff that never goes out, or at least, isn't going to go out until some of the main materials that are used for them go out of ready availability. Very much evergreen content, as you say. It's not going anywhere. It's not ever going to be invalid for the holiday. Yeah, I've seen that plenty of times too. You get those 5-minute craft videos. Just do this and just do this. Oh. The other thing I hate are those cooking videos where I know they're just trying to show you what ingredients you need, but they're pouring stuff into a bowl and then snap and it's all chopped and done and stirred. No. Show us the process and show us the pile of dishes that's going to be there at the end of it. It's all part of it. Yeah, definitely not squeaky clean. I think I've had about two or three teachers of like preschool, younger kids write to me with comments bitching, like, I wanted to use your video, but you swear in it. And I say, damn, what? I say, crap. Yeah, pretty much. And I'm definitely not on YouTube to make YouTube my career. I'm not fishing for videos you don't see. Oh, like, follow, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell. Whatever. If you want to, great. If not, whatever. Silas and Jebediah. I think both those names could work. Like I said, it'll come down to where are we going to put, and then the name will come. I think the next painting step is going to be we're going to have to spray white into the mouth and eyes to hit the backs of the inside pumpkin. Then we're going to have to do all the witchwood around the face. And then we're going to have to do the annoying part, which is going to be to take white and go into all the areas that aren't witchwood, and then we'll do an orange over that. So it's going to be a chore getting that face done. A real chore. But it's going to look amazing, so whatever. No problem, man. Yeah, pretty much. I haven't never seen Joni's book. The only book I ever thought of was a book that I wanted to call Gordomancy, which was just thousands upon thousands of shapes for pumpkin faces. Make the whole thing look like a spell book. So you are a Gordomancer. Use your magic to make the most terrifying faces. Oh yeah, his stuff is amazing. Absolutely. I think the thing that there's a couple reasons I don't even do / try dragons. And the first is the wall space that they take up afterwards. I mean, they're amazingly cool, but I think, God, where the hell am I going to hang it? And over the years, I've also kind of moved on in fandom from any kind of high fantasy and dragon stuff to more historical stuff. So it doesn't have the appeal. And sometimes when I watch him do that stuff where he puts the paint on and then he rubs 9/10 of it off with a towel, I just my inner miser flinches and screams. Yep, agreed. Yep. It's like, I can't deny the effect looks good, but you just wasted like a cup of paint. Ah! There's got to be a better way to do that. Who's that? That's Madge. Hi, Madge. Madge, be careful down there. I don't want you getting brown. You're a good cat. You're black and white. Hi. I don't want you black and white and brown. Now. Good girl. Nothing wrong with dragons. They're very, very cool. And Lord knows the techniques out there are just beautiful. I'm trying to think of that other gal that I used to see. She'd pop into my channel from time to time, and she did like gnome villages. She's got her own channel, and her stuff looks amazing. There. I don't want to do too much more than this because there's still stuff to be done on it. But that should give us a damn good idea of how he's going to look. Oh no. Her name is just totally ghosting out of my memory at the moment. Do any kind of search for like gnome house, fairy house, paper mache. You'll get her. There's a prominent L sound in her name if my brain isn't lying to me, which it has been known to do from time to time. Really great stuff. All right. Get the obvious glaring holes. Well, thanks for hanging out, Les. Appreciate it. Yeah, I think she's there about. Like I said, if you look up paper mache gnomes or toadstool houses, that kind of stuff, she'll definitely come up. That is not a bad little rib cage. Start, and then we'll have his hands. This is either going to need a black stain or it's going to need a highlight of something, or a black wash, I should say. Black wash or a highlight. This is good. Right now it seems like all this stuff is very, very flat textured. And it should be popping considerably more than that. That or we'll get some green. And it certainly looks like wood. I got no problem with that. I just need more high contrast. So, cool. All right, let's put this up and let him dry maybe, or we can throw all the witchwood on the back of his neck. He doesn't hugely need it. Where does he need witchwood? He needs it. He doesn't need it anywhere. He's fine. He looks great. He's awesome. But part of me is going, it would look so much better if there was just a little more witchwood. I'll think about it. Let's let him dry for a while. Okay. Let's revisit the dude here. Let's see what consistency. 6,000 is that? It's not bad. That should not fall off at all. All right, let's get him. I kind of want to see his eyes. Want to see him lit up. And we got these guys that we can do the detail on with their witchwood. I'm thinking I'm going to do this real quick first, because these guys I don't have to be careful of, because I'm going to put white over their orange bits. So it doesn't matter if they get a little bit of everywhere splashed. I still have to do their stems, but I don't see stems being that big of a blast in there. Okay. 1, 2. Night, lass. Nice. Everybody's got a bunch of cool stuff in the works. Best way to fly. I'm really looking forward to getting my first crown printed. I want to know that that thing is everything it can be. And if it is, then I will make the actual costume version, which will be a little bit more illuminated. Nice. I like Tim Curry quite a bit. So many roles he pulls off so well. Oh, yeah, these guys are going to need eye spray paint too. I'd still rather have the witchwood down first. It looks a lot different when it's blasted over white paint than if it actually seeps into the cotton. Okay. Good. Oh, nice. A remote battery powered operated fog device has been on my chopping block for a little while. You can do it with a vape, and I've been considering getting that going, but I want to work on its full incorporation into my costume before I mess with the electronics of that. Nice. Yeah. But, I mean, I just want something to kind of slowly arc out around my hands and immediate costume area. That's a little bit portable without having to spend, cash on an actual costume rig. I'll dump major bucks on the 3D printer, but, serious theatric? Nah. Because I only get to do this 1 to 3 nights a year, tops. I was very lucky last year that I got a hold of the folks down in, that town to the south, like last minute, because somebody at my school said, hey, they're doing a haunted house. And I sent a email fury of, hi, are you doing a haunted house? Can I come down and help? Can I help? I finally caught her last minute, like, yeah, come on down. And just zoomed in the car, 90 miles an hour. Show up, costume up, stalk around, have a great time. And then I get to do a little haunted house at the Bowman Lake State Park. I don't know what's going to happen with that, though, since the gal who ran it very, very unexpectedly passed on back in November. Ah. I'll take a look at it, though. AB Smoke. It's not that hard to work. I may give it a shot. All right, this should be some of the final witchwooding of the night. And then we can get on to some other stuff. Camera. I've seen something similar to that from some magician shops. This is going to need some serious extra gluing. I'm surprised because the witchwood doesn't normally peel back from it this badly. I'll get my... I mean, it's much easier to paint this way, but still. Yep, loser 6,000 fumes. Oh, wow. Interesting. Yeah, doing trick or treat, I don't really have the time to mess with that. The last few years, I've been the candy hander outer. We usually get a pretty constant flow, so can't do a whole lot of activate this, activate that, because you can't really shatter the scene. We're very big on the scene in my haunt. What's there? Not bad. Nice. Yeah, it's always one of the problems with paper mache is its lack of flexibility. And even though it's got a tolerable amount of strength, it's got a fair amount of brittleness too. Let's see if I can do some darkening with just a little extra coating. Get some more detail with some extra coating. Not a full blast, just hit the main areas. We'll see. I hear contented Madge snores. Yeah, there she is. That looks better. Okay, nice. Let's give that some drying time. Close enough. Giant rocks. That's good. I didn't need to use the detail brush. Yeah, it's too bad we can't throw pictures into the YouTube chat. I'd love to see this rock. Stained. Very minimal. You're good. All right. Any leftover mineral spirits used on the table. Fantastic. Yeah. I should take a look at my chat settings. I don't think that I have any kind of like links disabled stuff or anything like that on it, but I should probably double check it. All right, I'm gonna use the restroom real quick, and then lay down some more of this big guy. I want to try that experiment on his ridges. Right, Madge? Hi, Furball. How you doing? Wow. I thought I'd drive you nuts for a minute, cat. Wow. 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 This is the go for the belly, so she rolls away from it. So go for the other side, so she rolls away from that. Let's... All right, back in a minute. Come on, Edge. Hi. Aren't you cute? Look at you, cutie bear. Good girl. Girl from the edge. That was fine. All right. Yeah, I can try to do that for sure. Throw them up on the YouTube channel. So, a couple of things. Gonna need weight for the bottom of that. Give it a minute. There we go. That's good. Being out for a while, let some of those surfaces start to dry. We can work with the moist surface. Playtime! All-time favorite substance to work with. Okay, clay 1. Clay 2. And we'll work with clay 2. Alright, so. Quick drink. Alright, rounding experiment. This would take an absolutely unprecedented amount of time, but if I put a piece of clay between the depressions, and gave it a bump. Where's my rounding tool? You might get very, very pumpkino-realistic lines. I'll leave that there for now just to see. Let's try also on this patch as well. Doesn't have to be huge, but is it possible to get pumpkiniform hyperrealism. I bet it is. I should probably get a smoothing coat as well. I'll have to look into those smoke tubes. What are they running cost-wise? $38, not bad. Yeah, that's the other thing would be how large are the clouds, how long before it's got to be refilled / recharged. What are the specs? What are the specs? Oh, I think we got the weight covered. At least for bowl stability. That brush still hit a bunch of water in there. All right, I want to see. What happens? Again, might be a stupidly overcomplicated method to use, but it could look really good. Yeah, I figured they would have to have something on there to just let that mostly bottom out. They'd have to have something on there to let it be breathable and safe so that the performer isn't inhaling their own smoke in copious and potentially toxic quantities. Sounds good. Make sure we stay pretty thick on the clay. That's right, this guy may be a sentinel, so we're going to go right to the edge with him. Wonder if I can get away with taking that balloon out. Probably best not to risk it just yet. Once the clay is in place, we're going to be fine. I think this is definitely going to be the Halloween of the Plague Doctor. Is that vibrating the camera? Kind of. Not bad. Good night, Essie. Thanks for hanging out with us. Some people just pay attention. It's right there in chat. No spell check required. Oh dear. Hey, Animus. How goes it for you this fine Tuesday evening? I'm pretty sure it's Tuesday. Just having another fun night. Paper mache-ifying and 3D printing and witchwooding. Rocking it, rolling it. What time is it? 2 a.m. Not bad. Not bad at all. Excellent. Well, I suppose technically it's Wednesday now. We gotta watch out for Wednesdays. I actually have a staff meeting I've got to go to. It's the actual only important staff meeting because it's my team's staff meeting. Hump day! Yep, absolutely is. Super certainly is hump day. I don't know, at this point, they're all just running together. I like giving my projects a big huggy spank. Only way that really levels out the surface and mushes the clay down into the underlying strips. Yeah, doing all right on this. I'm hoping that my next 3D print will be finished pretty soon. And I can start the crown because I really want to see how that comes out. Because the project that I've got now, the witch orb, was just take a ball, put some holes in it, and then texture it. But the crown, I really put some heavier detail work into. I really want to see how they come out. It's got a lot of just bits in it I don't like. Okay. Plenty of clay, though. Tons of clay. I had to separate the crown into two pieces for its print. It's got two halves of the crown, and the front ornament are all on the print bed. I am exceedingly glad that I bought myself a large printer. But this is also kind of the proto print of this anyways, and I'm using it for sizing. And if I like how this one comes out, then I will do a little reduxing to it, depending on where there's issues, and make the full version. Let's grab the sculpting tools. Thank you, Joellen, for the Christmas present. This print should also take less time than the orbs. The orbs take 39 hours. This one should only take 24 hours. Probably gonna have to swap my filament reels though, because I don't know if the current one has enough filament left on it to do the entirety of the crown. And I definitely want to go to bed tonight, wake up tomorrow morning and go, ooh, there it is. The bits here didn't get mixed up well enough. Kinda, yeah. I'm really stoked, and then it's going to come down to, you know, what do we print / design next. In the meantime, if there's ever downtime for the printer, I can just fire up a witch orb. Because once I get, you know, 10, 12 witch orbs, that doesn't need to worry anymore. I'll have all that I need for that. Oop, kind of figured that might happen. And shaper. Yep, that was an anticipated hazard. No worries. Ooh. All right. And then we'll see how this guy's going to go. I grabbed another 10 foot of 3/4 inch PVC. So if I'm going to start doing a pumpkin sentinel tutorial, then I can start on that. I think I'm going to try something new with the tutorials as well. I'm probably going to use this camera, and I'll see if I can record a version of it that doesn't have my eye or the branch bastions on it, and then get that to raw video on the computer and then edit from that footage rather than trying to get my my Panasonic out, because that thing's battery is kerfuffled. I don't really feel like ordering a new one, especially when I've got a computer that does the same bloody job. Alright, how are we doing here? Alright, there next. I'll have to go onto the YouTubes and see. Actually, I'll have to record a test demo and see how the recording quality is, and if I like it enough for a tutorial. And if I do, then that's the way it's going to be. But I think this guy is going to be the head for that sentinel. At some point, we got to paint that witch orb. I should go look and see what primers I've got. And I probably ought to get myself a little micro file set for dealing with some of the burrs on that. I'm pretty sure I can get it off with sandpaper right now, but how much further are we going to be able to go here? Yep, see how it all pans out. Mixed quality in some drills. Maybe that mixing head of mine just... So I say I'm finding a lot of big fluffs in my paper clay that are moist but not integrated with the paste and joint compound. I do not like it when I have bits like that. Okay, let's... Yeah, there's a certain limitation to it in live craft videos, because both you're worrying about your craft and whatnot, and only so much entertainment value you can get. I don't worry about it. People hang out or they don't. I am not a motor mouth by nature. I just like being one of those folks who just blabble on for no reason whatsoever. If I'm talking, I have something to say. There it is. Over here. Okay. So. Where is... Let's see if we can't. Yeah, actually, some water will do. Damn good job. Let's see if we can do this side too. Get some wax. Cool. Hopefully, can use this to stop the clay from sticking so much to this thing. All right, let's see if that was effective. Might have been. Good. Okay. Yeah, that worked. Looks like I've got darn tootin'. I've been practically Halloween binging for quite a while now. I never usually stream this much, but so be it. And I like it. This year's Halloween will be pretty extraordinary, honestly. Between all the 3D printed stuff, costume modifications, I'm hoping I'll probably have at least 2 pumpkin sentinels done. With any luck, it'll mean that there is less stuff for me to go nuts on when I do the annual Halloween shopping expedition to Binghamton. All right, that'll smooth out when I hit it with the stuff. All right, what do we got here? Okay, good. Good, that wax coating really worked. I'm probably going to take some more tools downstairs later and just give them a quick sand and a wax coat. Where serial killers store all their things, in my basement. Yeah, most of it's down there. The great majority of it is all in totes. And when it comes to Halloween, it's just tote out, tote out, tote out, unpack tote, unpack tote, unpack tote. And it really goes very, very rapidly. Works well. You got a good system. And I've been doing it for many, many years now, so. Good stuff, Goliath. Can I do more? Not so much. I may be able to connect the jaw. Hopefully on both sides. Possibly finish the top row teeth. And then next time it's just going to be boring ass back work. Well, my house is kind of up on a hill elevation. So I really don't get any kind of water accumulation, fortunately. I've got one spot I want to look at because the wall on that side has got some drippity doodads coming in, but I really don't think I can get any kind of massive flood situation, which is slick. While the town is prone to flooding, I do not have to have flood insurance on my house because I'm in one of those spots that's out of the flood zone. Let's make him. How's that look? A little bit more fiendishly happy. That's pretty well blended. Okay. Night, Lynn. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hope you sleep well. Something like that, yeah. think for about 2 more Halloweens, I'm going to have to put up the, we had to make a sign that said that we'd moved from the old location so that anybody who came looking for our haunt wasn't disappointed. Okay. Let's close up the mouth area. Yeah, that's okay. In July? Jesus. I mean, I know COVID hit and everything, but July, August, September. I mean, 10 months from there. Be done in March. Oh. Right. Yeah, I don't have to worry about, well, I'd like to get this giant prop, but I have no idea where I'm going to store it. No, I made it. I made it with storage in mind. All right. I'll probably stop right here on this guy, just because if I go too much further, he's going to start to heavily unbalance. And I'll be fighting the torque like I was last time. Just blend him down. I honestly think half these administrators are so paralyzed with the fact that they can't really do anything that they're just, playing what if we idea box. Because I know all our administrators are like, we want you to do things, but we have no idea what, so just wait. Yep. Too much confusion, way too much CYA. Yeah, pretty much. The admin are, in many cases, but not all cases, worried more about covering their butts. But again, not all of them. So. Pretty much. Everybody's so afraid of doing the wrong thing. That's nothing new, though. That's why we have the Good Samaritan law. Nine times out of 10, doing something decent right away is better than doing the perfect thing you could have done weeks later. That's a weird one, Sergeant. Yeah, there's some places where, I mentioned before, households are practically fighting over who gets computer time because parents are working from home, kids need to do school from home. It's a royal mess. I don't bother with mine. I've been sending home hard copies for everything. I send along an email that has my PowerPoint and notes if people want it, but my kids get a hard copy. That way, you don't need a computer. It's all right there. There's also plenty of kids have learned the excuse that I'm having trouble logging in. There's something wrong with the computer. The family pet damaged the computer, and I'm, not my fault. We've seen that happen a bunch of times lately. All right. Let's grab the shaper. I wish I had students with averages that high. I've got to get another Science 10 assignment going very soon. Okay. So. Lots of folks get school depression. Good to learn how to deal with it early on. I'm not going to continue that one. We will continue this one. Okay, I got one from there. It's going to be a little bit shallower because it's on the front part. The other stuff really hasn't been formed up above, so we're freestyling here. Let's do a little one there. Let's do a little one here. Oops. Let's do a little one there. Let's do a little one here. Okay, we got one running here. Wow. Sounds like Sam. Small one, little one, little one here. Let's make that a little one. One here. Let's make it a big one. One here. Let's make that a little one. Okay. Oh, this one is the head for a pumpkin sentinel, Black Soul. The pumpkin sentinel is currently drying. I'll drop it down in a second though. But otherwise, lots of Halloween stuff. We got a witchwood covered skull here. Slide this back into a drying position. Although not too far because I got a whole bunch of stuff there. But we're making people like this guy for Halloween. And he's got two arms that are drying up right as opposed to the skinned ones that I've done in the past. Those have a great look. Although the nice thing with those is if I'm working with students, it's really easy to just be like, and throw a skin on. Boom, you're done. Whereas these, I'd hate to be like, all right, and you have to sculpt all the individual lines and just watch people go, you're crazy. Who does that? It's much easier to slap on the words, big giant words. It's easier to slap on a layer of skin than it is to sculpt the surface. But I'm really liking how the surface sculpting is coming out. And I think if I try that extra method that I'm thinking about, it'll probably even come out better. It's going to be a piss ton of work, but we'll see. It might be, in fact, I'm willing to bet it's going to be one of those, it's not worth the time to do it, but I'd like to see and know for sure that it is definitely not. And if it's not, then no problem. We just hold off on it, or we only do it for very, very, very special centerpiece projects like this guy. But do I want to witchwood the back of him? or slap more stuff down. This is reasonably dry at the moment. I don't have any reason not to, so yeah, I'm going to do that. That way it'll be done for next time, and I really, really won't have to worry about any of his shenanigans. I kind of want to protect the back of his head here with something. I'm thinking I may 3D print a little plate just to round that edge, or maybe put a splash of silicone there so that doesn't get worn away over time. So let's get the clay out of that thing there. Clay. We can push him way back to dry. Which orb doesn't even need to be here anymore. That was just to show off the print. And now let's throw the last of the witchwood onto the back of his neck. Let's get the clay out of the way. And actually, not just the back of his neck, but the back of the spine as well. This would mean he is 100% ready for paint. So we got witchwood back of the spine and back of the neck. Let's grab a bowl for witchwood. Little spider guy is right here, and we kind of just need to carve out his face, and then I need to sculpt fangs for him, both on lower mandibles and upper mandibles. Might even start that tonight as well. And I might try that experimental rounding technique on him too. So, yeah, that's another thing we can do tonight. Let me get how much witchwood? It's gonna be an eyeball it. What am I doing? Never paste first. Always fluff first. Fluff, 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 fluff. Yeah. I always tell myself, well, we don't really need that much. Though I can throw anything extra onto the scapula, so. How much is that? Just a little bit more. Okay, let's get some witchwood going. Whoop! Oh well, it's not like I don't have another, 4.5 pounds of this stuff. Or I should say, 9.5 pounds of this stuff. Great. More paste. Also kind of glad I'm using up this paste. It's been sitting out for a bit, though I just did add some salt to it, but still. Brilliant. And just a tiny bit more. Great. Okay. Which one? Let's get this the hell out of the way, or it's not going to fall over. And back of the neck. It is honestly You know how that paper insulation comes in a big bale? That's about how that cotton came in. It is just a huge, huge, huge bale brick of the stuff. And I grab it out much the same way I grab the insulation fluff material out. There's so much of it. It is insane. So I highly doubt I'm going to run out anytime soon, and that's good because that means I don't have to waste time throwing together cotton balls. A place called Thunder Acres. It's on Amazon. If you search for it, it's like it basically says like raw cotton. It's like $49.99, and it's like 10 pounds of raw cotton. But I'm pretty sure the place was called Thunder Acres. Stay. Yep, Thunder Acres. That is my source. Kind of want to cover up some of the cracks here too. Pardon. Yeah, it's a really worthwhile spot if you're looking to do a lot of witchwood. Because normally, as we know, you're pulling those stupid cotton balls apart till flip all ever. It's just annoying. I mean, it's not that bad, obviously. You throw on some Netflix and get to it. It's like tearing paper strips, but if you don't have to, and you're getting it cheaper, why would you? Okay. Just have to deal with the fact that every now and again you get tiny little nibbits in there. But I'll take that all day long over tearing apart cotton balls. It should be pretty good for that side. Kind of want them. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no problem. Yep. Can't go wrong with witchwood for the appearance of wood. Nothing beats it. If I ever find something that does beat it, I'll move to that. But for the moment, nothing beats this. And at the moment, I really want to make sure I have enough stuff right now to do the back of the spine. So let's slap that on there. I think we already added some definition to the front of the spine, so we shouldn't have to worry about that. I don't want the back of the spine to have a lot of definition because this could be up against walls, up against posts. It could be a friction generating surface. So just enough will be fine. Okay. And the rest we can splurge. I would love to make some sort of spooky noisemaker along those lines. Something that kind of groans with the wind. And you definitely can make like windpipes without too much trouble. But the trouble is tuning them to the right frequencies and making sure they sound spooky rather than, stupid. Or worse yet, cheery. Ugh. Listen to the peaceful sound of the lovely wind chimes. Isn't that great? Oh, God, it's supposed to be scary. All right. Yeah, just don't plan on them making a whole lot of actual sound because the any kind of mache, obviously, in which wood will mute musical notes. Ugh. Snap, crackle, pop, you're 40. Hold. That may not hold. It's fine. It's fine. It's all good. Everything's fine. We're all fine here. How are you? Okay. That is almost there from this side. I want to get a little bit out towards the shoulder. A little bit restricted by gravity at the moment, but whatever. Okay. And then the rest we can just blow on the scapula. Or we can find some other cool spots to snap it on. I would say find your ideal wind catcher first, and then, spookify it. See if we can get a little witchwood on every one of these. Curves, we're down to witchwood dregs. So. There we go. Yeah, everybody's got a little something on them. Cool. Yep, bowl's empty. Good. All right, let's put this back up to dry carefully. Good. Okay. So, skull, witchwooded, pumpkin, drying, tacky glue crap on my hands being tacky. Mini pumpkins, drying, arms, drying. Only major thing to do now is to take a look at the primer for the witch orb and do a small amount of sanding on it, but I don't fancy being on camera going shucka 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 and making noise for the sanding stuff. Oh yeah, this guy. We can cut him out. Hey Madge, how you doing? Oh, damn it, there's a witchwood splat. Come here, witchwood splat. Be splatted. There. Now you're splat. Fuzzy cat, what's up? Meow. Meow meow. Hi. Come here. Oh, good girl. Hi. I won't grab you too much with that hand because that hand has a little bit of goop on it, but how are you? I should make you like a little bed down under there. Nope, you don't want to mess with the fur. Roar. Okay. Big Exacto. Nope, that's not comfortable. Oh, right. I made this thing sadly, horrifically thin. Yeah, wonderful. That cuts infinitely easier. Well, those are going to stay in there for a little bit. I need some more of these number 2 blades eventually. Carves really well, though. Okay. That worked better in the tiny eyes. Okay. So, with that being done, have a good night, Ghost. Take care, and thanks for joining us. Let's do a little micro sculpting. I'm gonna need for drawing elevation. All right, good. It's about 3 in the morning. Two things, and a couple things I want to do. To ring these eyes. Ah, thank you. Kind of want to ring them in a very particular way, too. Hmm. This is so much like sculpting for the 3D program. Just with hands. Take care, Joey. Thanks for hanging out. Have an excellent evening. And a damn good sleep. This is going to be tricky to make the way I really want it to be. That's the general idea. I don't dare screw with that anymore right now. Getting it there, Derek. I also still didn't know if I wanted to take these eyes more out or if I wanted to take them in. I think out will look more alien and weird. Unfortunately, it's a lot of fine type sculpting for clay that really isn't meant for fine sculpting. The mandibles are going to have to be slowly assembled. It'll take more than one session to do it. Okay. Now, that'll be the start of them. Then we can extend them further later. Curvature is almost equivalent, but they're going to have to sit like that as they dry. Yeah, I can smooth them a little later on. Oh, we need two smaller ones. Hey, Angel, how's it going? Sorry, I'm in the middle of a what do I, how do I, who do I, I'll need a little bit of modification later. All right, but that's a good form start. Oh, sit that there. Should dry into shape, and then we can refine what we've already got. Ooh. Hey, Lucia, how you doing? Got you, Dirk. Awesome. Yeah, it's 3:15 in the morning right now where I'm at. I think we've just about hit threshold here. We got micro guy going. Everything else is kind of stain and witchwood. Witchwood handles itself pretty damn well. Though I do like what happened with that when I hit it with another coat of witchwood. It darkened up considerably. And I am a huge fan of that. We'll try. Might try that on the arms. At least on the main spots. That might save me from having to throw a whole nother coat of a black stain on there. Yeah, skull's going very well. Very, very well. Actually, I gotta fill that with water. What other tools need tooling? This one didn't get any use, so that can sit and dry. That's a fluff. This can go back over in the stack. Yeah, that's about it. We got a low maintenance night, which is pretty slick. Oh, good. All right, let this guy dry under a fan blast. He can dry under a fan blast. Everything else is good. Cool. And for those who have just arrived, I will show off the 3D printed witch orb again, which did very, very well. And the next one is currently downstairs. It's probably getting close on towards done very soon. But these guys were incredibly successful. Now we just need to paint it. So, yeah. I have no idea how I'm going to paint it, but we'll do definitely a brown so it looks witchwoody. And then I don't know if I'm going to try to get all these little bits. May just start with a grayish black and then go up to a brown. And then maybe a hit of like a very light brown on top of that for a dry brush. And we'll call it good. But just being able to just print these rather than spending, 5-6 days making them. Like 2 days, boom, it's printed. Now paint it. As opposed to, all right, little bit. And then if your balloon inside pops, you got problems. And if this happens, you got problems. And if that happens, you got problems. So Yeah. I can't wait to make the crown. Hi, cat. And that should be pretty slick. All right. Well, otherwise, I think we are in good shape for the evening. Well, there's not anything else that we can do right now because everything is drying. So have a fantastic evening, everyone. Thank you very much for hanging out with me and crafting around. And we will catch you hopefully tomorrow for another broadcast where we will get that sucker completely clayed. We're going to start the painting for the big pumpkin guy. We're going to get the arms completely done and all that good jazz. Take care, have fun, see you later. I shall indeed. Madge, hi. What are you doing? Oh, detention time. Hi. Oh, what a good girl. You're so cute. You're such a cutie. All right, careful. Move in the chair. Good girl. All right, you.